My name is Emma Walker. I'm 21, a junior psychology major at Willamette University, this small liberal arts school tucked away in Salem, Oregon. My days pretty much revolve around three places: class, the library, and my dorm room. No parties, no clubs, no weekend road trips with friends. It's all because of my heart, a congenital condition that's always reminded me I'm different. I've known about it since I was little. The doctors call it a complex defect. Basically, my heart rate is naturally slower than normal, and I tire out fast if I push myself. No running, no hiking. Even getting too excited can make me dizzy. I've learned to take life slow, to keep my distance from anything that might make my heart race. And love? That's the one thing I've avoided most of all. Loving someone means letting them worry, letting them hurt watching me struggle. I don't want to be anyone's burden. Most days, I just quietly move through campus. Willamette's small, with these big old trees and shaded paths, but I rarely stop to take it in. The library's my spot, quiet, where I can sit for hours reading without anyone bothering me. It's my safe little world. One fall afternoon, with that typical Oregon drizzle coming down, I was in my usual corner of the library by the window, looking out at the soggy quad. I was trying to focus on a behavioral psychology book, pushing through the tiredness from morning classes. Then someone stood in front of my table. I looked up, and there she was. She was tall, with long brown hair falling loose, bright green eyes sparkling under the library lights. Her smile was warm, like she'd brought summer sunshine from some big city. She had on a denim jacket and was holding a small camera. "Hey," she said, her voice soft but confident. "I'm Claire Bennett, senior film major. I'm working on a documentary project about the quiet people on campus, the ones everyone walks past without noticing. Would it be okay if I filmed you a bit? Just a few shots, and maybe chat if you're up for it." I froze. Nobody ever approached me like that. Usually, people glance and move on because I try so hard to blend in. But Claire looked at me like I was a story worth telling. I'm not sure," I mumbled, clutching my book tighter. My heart picked up a little, not from the condition, but from her eyes. Gentle, genuine, like she actually cared. She sat down across from me without pushing. "I get it. A lot of people say no. But you, sitting here with that thick book, staring out at the rain, you look like something out of a movie. I believe every story deserves to be told, even the quietest ones." She smiled. And I felt my face heat up. For the first time in years, someone was making me flustered. It felt dangerous. The kind of flutter I'd spent years avoiding. I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "Okay, but just filming, no interview." She nodded, her eyes lighting up. "Thank you. I promise I won't take long." That afternoon, Claire started filming me. She moved quietly around the table, camera pointed my way, but it was her gaze I couldn't forget, warm, patient, like she was uncovering something beautiful. I had no idea that moment would change everything. Claire Bennett had stepped into my closed-off world. And no matter how hard I tried to keep my distance, my fragile heart had already started beating for her. After that afternoon in the library, Claire started showing up more in my life. At first, it felt like coincidences, or at least that's what I told myself. She'd sit near me in the library again, asking if I minded a few more shots. Then the meetings turned intentional. One day, she texted, "It's gorgeous out today, want to take a slow walk around campus? I promise we'll go easy." I hesitated forever before saying yes. We strolled the stone paths under the maple trees turning red. Claire talked about her film project. About growing up in sunny, chaotic Los Angeles. She laughed a lot, her voice warm, and every few minutes she'd turn and ask what I thought about some book. I kept my answers short, but inside, it felt strangely good. After that, we'd meet at the little coffee shop near my dorm. Claire always got a hot latte, I'd stick to cold orange juice. Coffee makes my heart race, and I can't risk that. We'd sit by the window, watching students pass. Claire listened patiently while I talked about psychology, the theories I loved. She never pried about my condition, like she knew it was off limits. Her texts became part of my routine. Did you eat lunch yet? It's pouring, grab an umbrella. Just watched this amazing movie, want me to tell you about it? Those little messages made me smile alone in my room. I started looking forward to them. I knew I was falling for her. Every time I'd spot Claire from afar, my heart would skip, not from the illness, but because of her. But that feeling terrified me. I was scared my weak heart couldn't handle that kind of joy. Scared I'd collapse one day and she'd have to watch. Scared she'd end up living in constant worry, waiting for hospital calls, or worse. I started building walls. Replying to texts slower. Turning down walks with excuses like I'm tired. I kept reminding myself, don't let her get closer. Loving me would only bring pain. But Claire didn't give up easily. One late fall evening at our usual coffee shop, with warm golden lights and leaves drifting outside, she went quiet for a long time. Then looked me straight in the eye. "Emma," she said, her voice low but steady. "I like you. Not just as friends. I like you in the way where I want to spend more time with you, hold your hand, share everything." I went still. My heart pounded like it was trying to break every limit the doctors warned about. I stared at my empty orange juice glass, gripping it tight. "Claire. I can't," I whispered, my voice shaking. "I can't give you what you deserve. My heart, it's not healthy. My future's uncertain. I don't want you worrying, waiting, hurting because of me. I don't want to be a burden." She didn't respond right away. She just looked at me, sad, gentle, no anger or disappointment. "Emma," she finally said. "I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need a fairy tale romance with no challenges. I just need you to give me a chance to love you. To be with you, however long that is." Her words hit like a sweet knife to the chest. I wanted to cry. To run over and hug her and say I liked her so much too. But fear won. I was terrified I'd leave her with pain she couldn't heal. I stood up, voice choking. "I'm sorry. I can't." I left the shop without looking back. Rain started falling, cold on my cheeks, or maybe those were tears. I hurried to my dorm, locked the door, and curled up on my bed. After that, I avoided Claire. Ignored texts. Stayed away from our spots. I chose distance, safe for her, painful for me. I thought it was the right thing. But every night alone, I'd hear my weak heart beating her name, Claire. 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 The days after I walked out of that coffee shop felt emptier than ever. I avoided anywhere I might run into Claire, the library, the shop, even the campus paths. I buried myself in books, trying to convince myself the distance was necessary. But at night in my dorm, I'd hear my slow, lonely heartbeat like it was calling for her. Then one cold fall night, everything changed. I was studying late, forcing focus on a psych textbook. When sudden chest pain hit, like a vice squeezing my heart, radiating to my shoulder and arm. I struggled to breathe. I remember calling 911, voice trembling, "Help." My heart. When I woke up, everything was hazy. Harsh hospital lights, the beep of monitors, that sharp antiseptic smell. I opened my eyes. And the first person I saw was my mom, sitting by the bed, face drawn with worry. She squeezed my hand, tears streaming. "Emma, you're awake. You scared me half to death." But next to her was someone else. Claire. Slumped in the corner chair, dark circles under her eyes, hair messy. But smiling softly when she saw me stir. She looked exhausted, like she hadn't slept in days. "Claire." I whispered weakly. "How are you here?" My mom wiped her tears and stood. She showed up the second she heard. "She's been here 3 whole days, refusing to leave. I had to force her to eat." 3 days. I'd been out that long. My heart sped up a bit, but this time from emotion. Claire had stayed. Even after I pushed her away. Mom left us alone, saying she was getting water. Claire pulled her chair closer, gently taking my cold hand in her warm ones. "Emma," she said, voice hoarse from exhaustion. "I was so scared. When your roommate called, I rushed over. The doctor said it was critical, your heart rate dropped so low. They weren't sure. But I wasn't leaving. I stayed the whole time, waiting for you to wake up." I looked into her tired, worried, but determined eyes. She'd chosen to stay, knowing full well about my condition. Knowing attacks like this could happen anytime. "Why?" I asked, choking up. "I turned you down. I didn't want you going through this." She shook her head, holding tighter. "I chose this. No matter what. I'm not afraid of the pain, Emma. I'm afraid of losing you without ever saying I love you. Running away doesn't stop pain, it just makes it lonelier." Her words broke through the walls I'd built for years, from fear, from illness, from thinking I didn't deserve love. I realized pushing people away didn't prevent pain, it came anyway, like last night. But with Claire, that pain wouldn't be so alone. Tears spilled over. The first time in years I'd let myself cry. Not from hurt, but from feeling. For the lonely years, the fear that trapped me. For finally allowing myself to be vulnerable, to need someone. I like you too, Claire," I whispered through tears. "I'm terrified, but I want to try. I want to give you that chance." She smiled, tears falling too. She leaned in, kissing my forehead softly. "Thank you, Emma. We'll get through this together." In that hospital bed, with my still fragile heart, I felt truly alive. The line between life and loss felt thin, but with Claire there, I wasn't afraid anymore. I got discharged on a gentle early winter morning, the last maple leaves drifting down the hospital path. Claire waited at the entrance with a small bunch of white daisies. "They remind me of you, simple, but tough," she said. My mom hugged me long, whispering, "That girl's a keeper, Emma. Don't push her away again." I nodded, tears silent. For the first time, I didn't feel like a burden. Our first days together were slow, even slower than my old pace. Claire moved some stuff into my dorm, even though it's technically against rules, we kept it our little secret. Like a quiet promise. She learned my subtle signs, quicker breaths, cold hands, when I'd absently touch my chest. She never panicked, just gently sat me down, got warm water. Held my hand until things calmed. Claire put off applying for her dream internship in LA. "No rush," she'd say, lying beside me on my narrow bed. "I want to stay here for now. Finish this film first." The film she'd named Heartbeat. Not just a documentary anymore, half fiction, inspired by us. I was the center, not the pitiful sick girl, but someone learning to open up, to love even when time might be short. Filming happened around familiar Willamette spots. Claire carried her little camera everywhere, me reading by the library window, us walking slowly under golden leaves, moments when I'd smile, smiles I rarely showed before. Once. Mid-shoot, I got hit with fatigue, dropping onto a bench. Heart racing irregularly, breaths short. Claire shut off the camera instantly, kneeling in front of me. Hand on my chest like she could lend me her steady beat. Breathe with me, she whispered. In, out. I'm right here. It passed in minutes. But the fear lingered, like a shadow. That night, in her arms, I cried. I'm scared you'll get tired of this, I said, shaking. That you'll regret it. She kissed my hair, firm. I won't regret it, Emma. Every time you pull through, I love you more. We don't have to race time. We just live fully in the moments we have. We learn to cherish the ordinary. Mornings waking up together, sunlight filtering through curtains onto Claire's sleeping face. Afternoons on the dorm balcony with herbal tea, no coffee for me, watching students below. Quiet handholds on short walks around the campus pond, not far, not fast. Just enough warmth. Claire would stop sometimes, say listen, then place her hand on my chest and mine on hers. 2 heartbeats, one slow and fragile. One strong and steady, talking to each other. One winter night, a mild flare-up woke me, chest pain, cold sweat. Claire was up instantly, calling ambulance without hesitation. In the ER, she held my hand the whole shift. Doctor said temporary arrhythmia, not serious, but I was still scared. Back in the room, curled in her arms. I sobbed. I don't want you living like this forever. She stroked my hair, soft but sure, this is living, Emma. Living has joy and fear. I choose it with you, even the rough nights. Because the peaceful days with you are worth everything. Slowly, I stopped blaming myself for my illness. I accepted our love wasn't perfect, fragile, breakable, but deeper because of it. Claire finished the heartbeat script. We'd watch early cuts on her laptop. On screen. I wasn't the quiet girl hiding in the library anymore, I was living, loving, smiling through cold Oregon days. Leaning on her shoulder, I whispered. Thank you for not giving up. She kissed my cheek. Thank you for letting me love the most beautiful fragile heartbeat I've ever known. Outside, snow started falling, soft. Silent, blanketing the campus. We lay together, our heartbeats blending into one, not separate anymore, but ours. That spring came to Willamette like a gentle whisper. The drizzle still fell, but now it carried the scent of early cherry blossoms along the paths. Heartbeat wrapped just weeks before the Northwest Student Film Festival deadline. Claire pulled all-nighters in the department's tiny edit bay, eyes tired but excited whenever she'd show me a new scene. Check this out, she'd say. Pulling me close to the laptop. I'd rest my head on her shoulder, watching myself, not the withdrawn girl in the library corner anymore, but a woman opening up. Smiling in Oregon rain. The film didn't hide my illness, but it wasn't the focus. It was about love, slow, fragile, heartbreakingly real. The festival screening was in the main auditorium. Warm stage lights, packed with students, faculty, some guests from nearby schools. I sat mid-row in the soft blue sweater Claire picked, the color of sky after rain, she said. My heart beat a little faster than usual, not from nerves. But the crowd and buzz. Claire held my hand tight the whole time, fingers intertwined, steady warmth. When the screen lit with heartbeat, the room went quiet. Familiar shots rolled, me by the library window our first day, slow walks under red maples, moments of fatigue with Claire kneeling beside me. Silent scenes with my real heartbeat, slow, faint, layered over gentle piano Claire composed. The audience sat rapt, some wiped tears. At the end, thunderous applause. Standing ovation, I blushed hard. Claire went on stage for Best Documentary and Audience Choice. Hair tied back, smile bright but eyes teary. Mic in hand, she scanned the crowd, finding me instantly. "Thank you all for watching Heartbeat," she started, voice shaky with emotion. "I didn't make this alone. It came from someone special, who taught me love doesn't need perfection or forever. It just needs truth. Courage to stay, no matter how fragile life gets." More applause. She looked right at me, smiling through tears. "This is for you, Emma. And for anyone who's ever felt unworthy of love because of their flaws." I sat there, gripping my own hands like her warmth lingered. Tears fell quietly. For the first time, my condition didn't feel like a curse, just part of me. The part that made our love more precious. Afterward, in the hallway under soft lights, students congratulated us, some shared family heart stories, saying the film gave hope. Claire hugged me from behind, chin on my shoulder. "I'm so proud of you," I whispered. She laughed softly in my ear. "I'm prouder of you. For opening up. For staying with me." We didn't talk big future plans. Claire would still apply for LA, we'd decide together about moving. I had regular checkups, sudden tired days. The future stayed uncertain, my heartbeat might stop sooner than expected. But that night, walking back to the dorm under spring drizzle, cherry blossoms overhead, we stopped. Claire pulled me into a tight hug, kissing my hair. "I'll stay," she whispered. "However long." I leaned into her chest, hearing her strong beat mix with my fragile one. "Me too. I'll dare to stay." Our story doesn't end with forever, nobody knows how long that is. It ends with a simple, brave choice, to stay together. No matter how fragile life is. And with Claire, I'm truly living, in every remaining heartbeat.